Welcome to Emmara, Soul of the Accord. I hope you're excited to turn some leaves into soldier tokens. I don't know how that's a fall-time ability, but Emmara makes it work, and more power to her. So we're playing Emmara. Yeah, it's kind of wild. We're playing Emmara. Whenever she becomes tapped, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Now, what are we doing with the deck? We're building this deck in a manner that we're going to be able to tap Emmara at any point in the game to get some sort of soldier token on the battlefield. We want to be able to at least make one token per turn. If not, we want to be able to kind of amplify that effect out. Now, one of the immediate ways that you can really kind of get the token generation going with Emmara is by running vehicles in your deck. Stuff like Aethersphere Harvester, Smuggler's Copter, and Mobile Garrison. These are all going to be great ways that we can instantly just crew up only with Emmara herself and still get a little bit of value. You know, with Smuggler's Copter, we can crew Smuggler's Copter up, which would be kind of funny to see her riding with her little ribbon out of Smuggler's Copter. I don't know. It's so hard when you do these vehicles to imagine your commanders actually like operating these vehicles. It's always kind of fun. But so Smuggler's Copter, it's going to give us some really nice card advantage. We can draw a card whenever it attacks or blocks. And then Aethersphere Harvester, simply just a 3/5 to crew up for 1. That's always a nice thing to have. But it's kind of up to you to depend on how many vehicles you're going to run in here. But let's say you're trying to build Emmara on a budget. Vehicles are definitely a really good way for you to have access to that tap ability without having to buy some of the more expensive cards that care about tapping creatures. Now, another way that we can really take advantage of Emmara is by being able to tap her for mana. That's going to allow us to get a token on the battlefield and allow us to kind of get some extra mana on the battlefield to kind of accelerate our game plan. So stuff like Springleaf Drum, Honor Worn, and Paradise Mantle, they fit in perfectly with our game plan. Let's say that we tap down Honor Worn artifact, use that to untap Emmara. That's going to be 2 soldiers per turn and giving you 2 mana, which is exactly what we want to be doing. And then also cards like Shields. You want to have the Convoke ability somewhere within your card base. You can be able to tap down Emmara to kind of pay for a Convoke spell, especially with Shields. It's going to give target creature indestructible. That's still going to give you a soldier token on the battlefield. And then Reconnaissance. I love Reconnaissance. There's a lot of times where you go to your combat, you swing with Emmara, then you untap her, and then you still get that soldier token. So it's really nice to be able to use Reconnaissance. It's basically just a 1 mana, make 1 token per turn with Emmara swinging in. So pretty cool. Always enjoyed that ability to be able to make an extra token from her. Now, one of the ways that, let's say that we do finally build up an entire board of tokens, what are ways that we can take advantage of all the creatures on the battlefield? Catapult Master, tap 5 untapped soldiers you control. I love this card. It's one of my favorite cards in Magic. That's definitely going to allow you to exile whatever sort of creature your opponent has on the battlefield. Hour of Reckoning, if you can run some sort of one-sided board wipe in your deck, it always helps you close games out, and Hour of Reckoning is definitely one of those decks. And of course, stuff like Mentor of the Meek, that's going to allow us to get some really nice card advantage once we get those 1/1 soldiers entering the battlefield. And then Skull Clamp and Glare of Subdual. Once we have just a ton of creatures on the battlefield, they are a bunch of 1/1s. It's kind of hard to close the game out with a bunch of 1/1s unless we have some sort of amplifying effect. So with Glare of the Subdual, we can have extra tokens on the battlefield, tap down some of those tokens, tap down some of our opponent's creatures. That way it's going to clear the way for us to swing in a bunch of tokens. And of course, Skull Clamp. You're running a 1/1 deck, you always want to run Skull Clamp. That way you can equip it onto some of your creatures and get some really nice card advantage. Now, ways that we can amplify Emmara's ability. That's going to be Parallel Lives, Anointed Procession, and Doubling Season. We basically want to be able to swarm the board with tokens, as many tokens as possible. So all of these allow us to basically just generate some extra value. Now, if you are running Doubling Season, I will say this: if you're getting down a Planeswalker, it doubles the amount of loyalty counters that a Planeswalker enters the battlefield with. So if you're going to be running Doubling Season, it wouldn't hurt to run some sort of Planeswalker that has a really immediate, some sort of immediate ultimate that you can go for, especially if you're running Doubling Season. I opted not to run any sort of Planeswalkers in my deck, simply just because I just wanted to be a little bit more of a token-focused deck. But if you are running Doubling Season, at least wanted to highlight that you can throw in a Planeswalker that has some sort of ultimate, and that will help you close some games out. Now, like I mentioned, we get a ton of tokens on the battlefield, but we're going to run some sort of creatures that give some sort of effect to those creatures. Trostani, Kamal, Thunderfoot, Baloth, these are all going to be ways that we can turn these 1/1 tokens into creatures that allows us to close the game out. Simply turning a ton of 1/1s into 2/2s or 3/3s or 4/4s with Kamal's ability, that's going to usually be more than enough to help you close that out. And especially with Kamal, it's going to give your creatures +3/+3, and they gain trample. That's typically going to be more than enough to swing in and deal some lethal damage to our opponent. And then Jazal, and then Elish Norn. Of course, Elish Norn's going to be wonderful for the deck. Gives our creatures +2/+2, and at the same time kind of lowering our opponent's power and toughness. Really kind of giving us almost not necessarily a one-sided board wipe, but giving us a really nice one-sided effect that really helps us put some pressure on our opponent to close the game out. Now, outside of creatures, you definitely want to run some sort of kind of overwhelming stampede effect, or you just want to be able to just push as many tokens at your opponent, Camaraderie, Overwhelming Stampede, and Mirari's Wake are all wonderful ways to make sure these 1/1 tokens turn into something that kind of help us close the game out. Collective efforts, we can be able to put a +1 counter on each creature that we control, and especially with that escalate ability, we can tap down Emmara to get some extra creatures. And then Cathar's Crusade, and that's one of those enchantments that you get it down on the battlefield, get that soldier token going, get that soldier token going. It's just basically those +1 counters just stack so quick, especially when you're able to make creatures at instant speed with Emmara. It just makes for a really nice, interesting effect. And of course, we are in green-white. You want to run some sort of artifact enchantment removal. You want to make sure that you have all of the mana on your side, and you really kind of keep in check what your opponent has going on. Knight of Autumn is a wonderful card for the deck. Reclamation Sage and Aura Shards works out perfectly in this deck because we're getting those tokens, and you can really get some really nice board control with Aura Shards once you go for those activations. But that is going to bring us to the end of the deck tech. I have 2 wonderful gameplay videos up for you next, so stick around and watch. Welcome to Emmara, Soul of the Accord. As far as your opening hand goes, yeah, this is wonderful. Exactly what we want. We're going to go keep on this one. We have some protection for Emmara, which she's definitely one of those commanders that we want to just pretty much just get down, and then get those tokens going. And let's see if our opponent wants to mulligan past 7 or not, and then we'll get this video started. Okay, so we are on the play. Let's go and lead off with Catacombs, and then yeah, let's just go and crack it real quick. That way we can cover our commanders and me not forget about cracking the Catacombs, because that always bothers me. It's going to get this popped out, and we'll grab Canopy Vista. I think that's the one, or Savan. No, excuse me, Scatter Groves. There we go. Grab Scatter Groves, going to enter the battlefield tapped, and then we'll go and pass the turn. We're playing Emmara, Soul of the Accord. Whenever Emmara becomes tapped, create a 1/1 white soldier token with lifelink, which is it's pretty cool. You'd think she'd make some elf tokens, but she makes some soldier tokens, which is always neat. And then we're playing against Goreclaw. So we'll see what kind of deck we're playing against. In fact, that reminds me, I need to build Goreclaw. Kind of got wrapped up with a lot of channel stuff, and so kind of messed up my normal flow whenever I did. There's just so many legendaries that came out during the Dominaria set. Let's go ahead and get down Misty. Let's go ahead and go for... You're playing against mono green, so we don't necessarily need to worry about... yeah, I think we'll be okay. Let's go ahead and get down Emmara, because that way we get into a position to where we might be able to kind of tap and get an extra soldier token going. So let's go and get down Savannah. Let's tap out for Emmara. There's just the best feeling in the world is having a 2-drop commander. I don't know, I love it. Especially a high impact commander like Emmara. And let's go and pass the turn to our opponent. See what our opponent said. There we go. We're playing against a fan of the channel, so best of luck. But yeah, so there's so many commanders in Dominaria, and then all the commanders spill over from Dominaria into M19 that I didn't catch some of the other ones. I definitely need to build Goreclaw. I think what it was with Goreclaw is I got into a spot to where I wanted to build Bear Tribal, because I have a Bear Tribal deck that I used to play a long time ago, but you know, it's a little hard to get that going, and then Goreclaw doesn't necessarily kind of lend well to some sort of Bear Tribal deck, and I wanted to make it one, but I wanted to take a little extra time with it. So let's go to get down Plains, so we can get down Honor. Yeah, actually, if we get down, and this is one of those really good cards in the deck. We get down Honor, we can add that colorless mana to our mana pool. Untap Emmara, that's going to give us another soldier token on the battlefield. And then tap Emmara. There we go, get a soldier. I always like to imagine she just shuffles the pockets of her dress, and then a soldier token falls out. There you go, look, told you. All right, so we're going to untap... Let's go and add one more colorless mana to our mana pool. Let's get down Lightning Greaves, and then we'll get that onto Emmara. That way we're nice and protected. And then next turn, we can worry about going for Parallel Lives, which actually be a really good thing for us to get some good soldier tokens going. We'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. But we're playing against Goreclaw. Creature spells you cast with the power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast. Then whenever Goreclaw attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. And I've been playing some Arena recently, and I've been running into Goreclaw a lot. And I will say this, that attack ability is it's pretty stout. There's a lot of times where if you give everybody trample, it's kind of hard for you to do anything about that. And then we draw into Reconnaissance. Okay, actually really cool card for this deck. We do not have the land drop down. I want to get down Parallel Lives. Okay, let's do this real quick. Let's shift Lightning Greaves over to Soldier. Do a little bit of maintenance really quick. Well, actually, if we're going to do that, we might as well just go and get down Parallel Lives. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's get down Parallel Lives. Let's get the Lightning Greaves back over onto Emmara. I was trying to figure out how we could do Reconnaissance, but we'll try to get that down for next turn. Yeah, let's get down Parallel Lives. And that is exactly what you want to see in an Emmara deck, is some sort of token enabler, and that's really going to amplify the amount of tokens that you get. Yeah, let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. Let's wait for our opponent to swing in. We can go for this activation at instant speed, so basically that's going to give us 2 tokens on the battlefield. Since we are staring down a 4-3, at this point, we're just going to try to build up our army as quickly as possible, and then kind of go from there. But yeah, I've been playing against Goreclaw in Arena, and if you haven't seen it, I've been doing some Arena Singleton on my channel. But I released some Sultai Lich Realm this last week. I've got some, well, depending on when this video goes out. Well, if you're seeing it on MTGO Traders, then you don't know about it. So make sure you head over to my channel. In fact, if you're new to, not new, if you're a subscriber of MTGO Traders and not a subscriber of my channel, I still make Commander videos for my very own channel. I ran into where somebody didn't realize that I had my own channel, so I just at least want to make sure that I talk about it if I'm releasing stuff for MTGO Traders. But I have my very own Magic the Gathering channel, put out daily Commander videos once a day at 6 a.m. in the morning. So if you have a commute or something like that and you want to watch it, they release daily. And if you get up later in the day, it's waiting for you. So it's got both areas covered. So our opponent's going to get down Tracker, which is going to allow them to fight. Let's see if they want to swing in or not at this point. Okay, so that will make it a 4-4. We're still going to get some tokens on the battlefield, but we're going to let this damage go through. So let's go ahead and tap Emmara. And it's going to always yield to those tokens. That way we get 2 extra tokens, and then always yield to the untap ability. And then I think that's just going to be 3 tokens. So we're going to let that come across for 5. That will be 5 total commander damage that's been dealt to us, putting us down to 23. Now, we do have Reclamation Sage. We can use that to take care of Swiftfoot Boots, but we're not under a huge pressure with Reclamation Sage and Boots at this point right now. So I think we'll be okay. Let's go and get down Plains. And let's go and go for Reconnaissance. Well, actually, if you wanted to, we can use Reclamation Sage on Boots. Get rid of Boots, and then that'll keep us online for Devouring Light, which will definitely work out towards tapping down some of our creatures. Let's get down Reconnaissance first. And this is one of those cool cards that you can, let's shift the Lightning Greaves over onto Soldier. We can send Emmara into the attack step, and before we go to blockers, we can tap her down to get you a few extra Soldier tokens. And before we go to blockers, we're going to move Emmara. Get back, Emmara. She gets a little feisty sometimes, and you're like, hey, come back. All right, so she's back. Let's go and get Lightning Greaves back over on Emmara, and then that'll allow us to go for Devouring Light. Do we want to go Rex Sage? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go Rex Sage, and then that should be just enough for Devouring Light. So we'll get that 1 extra mana down. Untap, or let's tap down Emmara. See how just gnarly this deck is. I love it. Let's go Reclamation Sage. Just a lot of fun interactions, basically. Okay, the opponent's going to go for Heroic Intervention. Very nice. So we get down Reclamation Sage, and unfortunately we cannot target Swiftfoot Boots. And then the Reclamation Sage is a May ability, so we don't have to... Reclamation Sage, he doesn't have to get so riled up to where he's going to blow up our paddle over there. We'll click no on this one, and then we'll kick the turn over to our opponent. But we've got a really nice board state developed. If they do decide to swing it with another creature or something like that, we can definitely get that. But one thing that we do need to be careful, though, is that with Tracker, target creature control fights another target creature. We need to be careful shifting the Lightning Greaves around. So that is something that we just kind of want to... We've got some good soldiers going, and we've got the paddle, so we can get some good soldiers going that way. And then hopefully it'll be some soldiers versus bears, which is always a lot of fun to see that. Okay, so our opponent's going to go for Beast Within on Parallel Lives, which there's nothing we can do about that. We'll see. I think we only get 1 token off of that. Yeah, we do. Okay. I was going to say, that'd be cool if we got 2 tokens, but it's going to be destroyed before it goes over there. And let's see how they decide to swing in. Now, with Devouring Light, we're definitely going to keep that online for Ronus because at this point now with Ronus, it's Death Touch and Indestructible. It's going to take up a lot of our tokens. So we're definitely going to save that for Ronus. That way we can get rid of that Trample Clause. All right, we're drawn to Survivor's Encampment. Let's go and get down the Survivor's Encampment. And since they are tapped out on mana, that puts us in a spot where we can go for Reconnaissance again. Let's go and shift the Lightning Greaves over onto Reclamation Sage. We got Emmara swinging in again. Let's go for Reconnaissance to untap her. And we go to our combat step, and the Cultivator's Caravan, if we get that down, yeah, that'll be another way for us to crew up. And honestly, with Cultivator's Caravan, it's a good commander card to begin with, having a mana rock at 3 mana for any color. But having that crew ability, there's a lot of times where when I'm building budget decks, I like to put that in there. Ooh, let's get Lightning Greaves back on Emmara. Don't want Tracker to fight him. Okay, then we'll pass the turn to fight her. But yeah, Cultivator's Caravan. You know, there's a lot of times where you do have some creatures that you don't want to swing in with, and then being able to crew a Cultivator's Caravan for 5/5 is always nice. And then also the vehicles in Emmara, and I should probably start talking about that. Vehicles work out really well with Emmara because you're still getting some value out of tapping her. You're getting a soldier on the battlefield. In Cultivator's Caravan's case, it is a 3/3. It's a 3 to crew. Gurik's Horde. At the play with the top card of your library revealed and cast the top card. Okay, so we've got ourselves we have a stompy match at this point right now. But yeah, crewed vehicles work really well with Emmara. You're like I mentioned, you're getting a soldier, and those soldiers kind of accumulate, which allow you to go for more activations off of Emmara. Let's go and tap down Emmara. So at this point right now, we're just going to try to get into some sort of win condition at this point. And that's going to be Elvish Norn or some sort of way that we can kind of give some really nice trample to our creatures. All right, drawn to Sunpetal Grove, and then they are tapped out again. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Reconnaissance. And look at the new Sunpetal Grove, how beautiful that art is. Oh, looks good. All right, so let's go and swing in for 2. Let's go and untap Emmara. Let's get the Lightning Greaves back on Emmara. I like how many costume changes we're going through for this video. Let's get down Sunpetal Grove, and then, yeah, we're going to go and pass the turn. So hopefully we draw into some sort of card draw. We can get that going. Some other stuff that can really kind of help us win the game. We do have Catapult Master, which if you haven't seen Catapult Master, I play Darian, King of Keld. Ooh, Vendor Zendikar. All right. All right, so this has definitely turned into a really interesting match. I played Darian, King of Keldor, and there's Catapult Master, which is a 5-drop soldier, and it's tap 5 untapped soldiers you control, and then exile target creature. So it's kind of like, you know, if you imagine what's going on, you're launching a catapult at that creature, and it gets rid of them. But that is a wonderful card for the deck, because that also allows us to kind of start picking off our opponent's creatures. All right, no swinging from our opponent. We're just kind of getting into this army board state of who can top deck a win condition, which I love it. Let's go and tap down Emmara. Okay, and then as far as mana being available to our opponent, they do have only 1 mana available, so we can still, once again, next turn, go for Emmara. I was thinking Emmara in my head. And what are we drawing to? Drawing to our, oh, that is exactly what we needed. Now, the only downside is that we'll take care of Emmara. That's going to leave us with a bunch of 10/10s. Ronus is going to be indestructible, so it's going to be left with a 5/5, but it can't block unless they have a creature power 4 or greater. We have a ton of tokens on the battlefield at this point right now. And we can also actually use Devouring Light to take care of it. Let's get a few more soldier tokens going. It's going to give us lifelink. Let's untap the paddle, add that colorless mana, and then the rest of the creatures, we're going to go ahead and crew up with crew up Reclamation Sage, and crew up this last soldier to turn it into, actually, I think that'll turn it into a non-token creatures, and once that turns into a artifact, yeah, it'll blow it up, so we don't actually want to do that. But yeah, let's go and go for Hour of Reckoning. That's going to be one of our best ways to kind of turn the game into our favor. Okay, it's going to take care of Emmara, unfortunately. We'll take care of Reclamation Sage, but it's going to give us an entire board of tokens, so it's going to be soldiers versus tokens. Now, we will have to swing in and kind of start targeting some of these plant tokens, but at this point right now, we can exile Ronus, or at least kind of get rid of one of the tokens. Let's go and push in. It's just going to be a battle of creatures, and we can actually rebuild our board state quicker than our opponent can. And also, depending on what sort of plant token they decide to block in, we can untap it with Reconnaissance at the very least. Okay, let's go ahead and go for Reconnaissance on 1 soldier. So we're at least going to be getting for 6, 9, 10. That's going to knock them down to 20. And then anything else. We're not going to be able to get down Emmara at this point right now. Let's go and get the Lightning Greaves onto the Beast token. And then anything else, no, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. So we still have Devouring Light online. We have at least 1 soldier untapped at this point right now. So we can use Devouring Light. Let's say they do somehow get down a creature with power 4 or greater. We can still use that to exile Ronus, especially if they're going to start swinging in. But you can see how devastating Hour of Reckoning can be, and especially in a token deck like this. I mean, it is just it's really like when you play Commander and you have a one-sided board wipe, it really helps you kind of push towards a win in that particular game. Now let's see if Ronus will swing in at this point. All right, no swing in from our opponent. We'll probably still try to use Devouring Light for next turn though. But let's see what we draw into, and then we'll go and push in, and we just kind of want to keep this pressure up on our opponent at least. They're drawn to Canopy Vista, and let's get Emmara pop back up. Yeah, let's go and go for it. We're going to be able to swing in with the Beast token and then the Soldiers, and that way if they do get Ronus to block, we can go for that Devouring Light. Okay, let's go for Devouring Light on Ronus. Get out of here, buddy. It's going to exile Ronus. Let's use Reconnaissance to untap a Soldier token, and that will allow us to get in for 5. And let's go and get down to Emmara, because Emmara's going to should be costing right at 4 mana. And we'll slowly start rebuilding some of these soldiers. And actually, we'll just so we don't forget about it, we'll go and go for tap an untap creature you control. Okay, then anything else, we're going to go pass the turn to our opponent. Kick back over there. But yeah, so we've got some pressure on our opponent. We are sitting at 41. The game's not necessarily over just yet. The main thing is with that Hour of Reckoning, the longer we sit back and they find a win condition, the longer they have creatures on the battlefield, it's going to be harder for us to really kind of close it out. So at this point right now, going for that Hour of Reckoning, it didn't necessarily win us the game right on the spot, but it gave us some sort of advantage in the game, and that's what we're looking for, especially when you have some sort of game where it just turns into this kind of race of arms where you're trying to build up the biggest board state possible. And so being able to kind of have that one-sided board swipe definitely gives you the advantage to help you try to get in the position to where you want to close it out. So, all right, so we got Goreclaw swinging across. That will be a 5/4, and that will put it at 10 total commander damage. So one thing that we do need to keep in mind is that with Goreclaw, we do have a nice life total at 36. We are getting about halfway to commander damage, so that's something we need to keep in mind. And we draw on 2 planes. Let's go and get down Canopy Vista. And then no attackers from our opponent. Let's go and go Lightning Greaves onto Soldier. Because at this point right now, we're going to be able to make about 2 tokens per turn. And then they do have the City's Blessing, so Wayward Sawtooth can attack and block. So let's go and swing in with Emmara. It's going to create a Soldier. Let's untap Reconnaissance. Get the Lightning Greaves back on Emmara for another costume change, and then that'll leave us next turn to where we can go for War and Honor. And actually, now that I think about it, with Goreclaw, we're probably going to go and crew up Cultivator's Caravan, at least to kind of stop either Wayward Sawtooth from swinging across, or if we simply just start swinging in with Cultivator's Caravan. Archetype of Endurance, creatures you control have hexproof, and then we lose hexproof. Now, thankfully, with Lightning Greaves, that is Shroud, so that's going to give us some protection off of that. Okay, no swinging from our opponent. Let's go for, let's tap Emmara to get another Soldier. And let's see what we draw to. Drawn to Kodama's Reach. Okay, well, we'll get rid of some of those lands out of our library. Let's go and grab Plains. Let's go and grab Forest. Let's go and get down Plains. And then anything else? No, we'll go, actually, yeah, we'll go and swing in with Emmara to get those tokens going again. Get the Lightning Greaves back on Emmara, and then, yeah, we'll go for next turn to get some more Soldier tokens. Going to pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, so we do have Anointed Procession in here. That's another way for us to kind of amplify these tokens. Once we get down some sort of token enabler, that's really going to allow us to kind of start pushing the game into our favor. We do have Glare of Sundial, Subdual. I've always called it Sundial, and I don't know why. But Glare of Subdual. It is a green-white enchantment. Tap an untap creature you control, tap target artifact or creature. So that will definitely allow us to kind of start putting some pressure on our opponent. And then I opted not to run Craterhoof in this particular deck because I've run Craterhoof in a lot of my commander decks that need it really bad to kind of get some sort of win condition. And so, Vona's Monument, okay. And, yeah, Cultivate on turn 11, where this is some high thrilling magic. But yeah, I run Craterhoof in a lot of decks that need that particular help. And you should definitely run Craterhoof in your Emmara deck. But as far as recording goes, I just don't want all of my videos to be, hey, let's slam Craterhoof down and win the game that way. So I kind of wanted to go. Elvish Nord is basically our Crater Hoof for this particular. Oh, there we go. Ho 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 ho. Skull Clamp time. Let's get down Plains. That is exactly what we needed. Let's go and get Lightning Greaves over onto Soldier. And you're about to see how good Lightning Greaves is in a deck like this. Even though we don't want to go too crazy getting rid of it, but getting some good card draw. Let's go swing with Emmara first. Untap with Reconnaissance. And then let's go ahead and get Lightning Greaves back onto Emmara. Now, let's get down Skull Clamp. Let's go. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have, basically, at this point right now, that will be Trample. So we need to be a little bit careful about that. But let's get some Clamp going. Draw to Harmonize. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and go for Harmonize. Let's go ahead and add colorless mana to our mana pool. Untap, tap Emmara. Let's go and add one more colorless to our mana pool. And let's go double green off Harmonize. We still want to maintain some sort of board state. Okay, let's go on to the Soldier token. Draw into Mentor of the Meek, which is actually going to work out really well. Let's go and get down Mentor of the Meek. And then we're going to get down Lano War Elves. And we'll pay that last 1 mana to draw an additional card. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Now that we kind of have a little bit our hand flowing again, I didn't want to go too crazy with the actual Skull Clamp itself. In fact, I still want to leave up Cultivator's Caravan. So let's go and pass the turn to our opponent. We just ripped into a ton of lands. So if you're a fan of lands, we get to kind of see the lands in the deck. We have Stirring Wildwood. We have Holdout Settlement. That's another fun thing in this deck is that you can... Kozilek. Whenever you cast a spell, draw 4 cards. And then, okay. All right, so we have some clamping to do next turn because we need to get some sort of... Somebody woke up Dad. Kozilek was asleep on the couch, and all the soldier tokens started making too much noise, and Kozilek got mad. And our opponent, I love this map. Opponent just said that we have card draw too. This has been a really fun back and forth match. We get down Skull Clamp, we got Kozilek coming down to draw 4 cards. So, but yeah, Kozilek got mad. He was taking a nap on the couch, watching some sports, and all these soldiers were making too much racket, and he got mad. Okay, so we don't have any more Emmara triggers to go for, but next turn we're definitely going to be looking for something that's going to give us some sort of protection from Kozilek. Now, the good thing about Annihilator is that since we're running a token deck, we have a ton of ways to get tokens on the battlefield. All right, draw into Windswept Heath. Okay, let's see. So let's do this. So let's go ahead, because we want to save our combat step as much as possible. Yeah, let's start clamping on some of our soldiers. Okay, draw the Sprout Swarm, which we can use that to get a lot of tokens. Let's see if we can't get some sort of token enabler with this. Yeah, that's going to be the key to this. Let's go for one more soldier. Collective Effort. Okay. Escalate, destroy target creature with power, and unfortunately it has hexproof, so we can't do that. And they all have hexproof, so that is nice, but it's not going to do anything. Green creature spells, cast a trigger. Yeah, it's not going to... Put a +1 counter on each target creature that player controls. Well, actually, that would allow us to build up a really nice board state with Escalate. Yeah, that's something. Okay, let's do that. Let's go and go for Skull Clamp one more time. Okay, that is exactly what we need. But unfortunately, excuse me, we need to take care of Archetype because we can't tap them down with Subdual. Yeah, they have hexproof, so that's not going to help us out. Think about it. Let's go ahead and get down Ancient Tomb. Yeah, we're not in a position to swing in right now, so let's do this. Let's shift Lightning Greaves over onto Mentor of the Meek. Let's go and swing it with Emmara. And let's go ahead and use Reconnaissance and untap Emmara. That'll give us another soldier token, give us a Mentor of the Meek trigger. We draw into March of the Multitudes. Oh, okay. Yeah, so let's see if we can't... All right, let's get a mana count. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11 total mana. So that's going to put us at 8 total soldiers with lifelink. And then next turn we go for Collective Effort. Yeah, I think I like that. That's what we need to go for. Now, we do have Kozilek swinging in. That will give it Trample, which is not something we really want to mess with. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is... Do we gain a little bit of life off of March of Multitudes? There's a lot of stuff in here. That Archetype is just really making it difficult for us. Because if we go for Collective effort at this point right now, that's going to give us a lot and making a bunch of 2/2s and make it a little bit easier for us to kind of block on some of our opponent's creatures. Yeah, let's try that. Let's go for collective effort, and then we'll see if we can't maybe jam a March of Multitudes the following turn or something like that. I'd really like to get a few more tokens down. Well, what we can do is simply just leave up mana for that. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can still get down March of the Multitudes. It won't be that big, but we don't have to go like all the way out. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for Honorborn. Let's tap down Emmara. That'll give us another soldier token. Oh, dang, I didn't mean to go for that. Oh, well, that works too. We can gain a bunch of life and draw some cards. Okay, never mind. Didn't mean to go from Enter the Meek. I was going to get a few more soldier tokens going, but that should be... And the creature you control get... Okay, we're going to save that for next turn because that's going to allow us... Let's get down March of the Multitudes. Okay, we're going to go for March of the Multitudes. Not going to always yield to the Mentor of the Meek trigger, and we're not going to be able to pay for that. No, not at this point right now. I'd love to, but we've got to, at least that's going to give us a win condition for next turn, going from Camaraderie. So let's go and not going to pay for that. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Let's go and go for collective effort. Put a +1 counter on each creature target player controls. That's going to be us. That's going to be 1, 2. And what we can do off this Annihilator trigger is that we can. There we go. Okay. Let's go and pass turn to our opponent. So we've got a really nice board state developed. Let's go and get rid of a few of the... Oh, Reliquary Tower would have been a better land drop to get down. I just saw that. Let's get down Windswept Heath and then Wooded Foothills, and then we'll kick the turn over to our opponent. So we got a ton of creatures on the battlefield. If we can kind of survive this particular turn, maybe they don't swing in with Kozilek, or they don't want to swing into a bunch of tokens, we have a bunch of 2/2s, and then we can use... Uh-oh. This is a wild game. Oh, we're at 6 minutes too. Oh no. Okay, we need to be quick too. So we could use Camaraderie next turn to get a few +1/+1 extra counters, and so we'll see what we can do about it. They're going to get Regal Force, which is going to be a ton of card draw because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be 8 drawn. And this is pretty much what Commander's about at this point right now. We need to get something going because I just now realized we're at 6 minutes, and then I do apologize to our opponent for kind of chewing up the clock this much. We are at 6 minutes, so we need to get some sort of win condition going. Oh, I didn't even put the Lightning Greaves back over on Emmara. I got so wrapped up trying to tap out for a March of the Multitudes, which is a really, really good Commander card to begin with. Being able to tap out, because I love... it is... Secure the Waste, I think, which is just 1 white mana, and then tap out X and put X soldier tokens on the battlefield, which in fact, I don't think I put it in here. I'm going to put it after this game. But that is a wonderful card for the deck. Oh no, Foda's got Overwhelming Stampede. Okay. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, so that's going to be, they all have Trample, and I think that's going to get it. We'll see, but that's going to chew up a lot of our creatures. Dang it. Okay, we tried to dig a little bit deeper into our library, but yeah, with Kozilek and then with the Goreclaw, they're all going to gain Trample, Annihilator 4. We'll still get rid of Exile, we'll sacrifice our lands. But I don't think, because at this point right now, we've got 15. So we got 30 in soldier damage, and then we have 34 points of damage. So let's say that we chew up strictly just Kozilek alone. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. Bummer, good game to our opponent. That was yeah, they've got it because we've got 30 points in soldier damage, and then 34 if you count the beast token, and then they all have trample, which there's nothing we can do about it. So that Overwhelming Stampede, we do have Overwhelming Stampede in here too, but unfortunately our opponent found it first, and this is what Commander's about, getting a lot of soldier stuff going, and they're going to be able to close it out, so they'll get it on this one. It'd been nice, and maybe we could have sequenced it to where we get down Camaraderie, but at that point, I don't know if maybe it would have been enough to go for that +1/+1 to swing in, but that leaves us open to where if they have some sort of combat trick, they're going to get it on the back end. So maybe I should have been more aggressive once we drew into a Camaraderie, but hey, it is what it is, and if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Emmara, Soul of the Accord. We're playing against Tajik, which hopefully should be a pretty fun match. Now, as far as our opening hand goes, yeah, this is good. I like it. We need to hit the 3rd land drop, but other than that, this is a really nice... this is our perfect hand. Meow, meow, meow. We're going to keep on this one. We'll be able to get down Razorverge Thicket and then go from there. But yes, welcome to Emmara, Soul of the Accord. Those meows are because we have 2 cats in the hand. And I just wanted to point that out and give a shout out to my cat, Dorothy. She watches these videos sometimes when I'm at work, and yeah, maybe she'll hear this video. Let's go to get down Razor Verge Thicket. And we go for Enlightened Tutor. Actually, let's just go get down Marsh Flats. Either way, we'll be online, and then we're just going to go and pass turn to our opponent. We're playing Emmara, Soul of the Accord. Whenever Emmara becomes tapped, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink, and we are playing against Tajik, Legion's Edge. Haste and Mentor. Prevent all non-combat damage will be dealt to other creatures you control. Then for a 2-mana activation, Tajik gains first strike until end of turn with his first sword. Hopefully, don't tell the cats, but that might be cat fur over there. Hopefully it's not. Do we want to grab Scattered Groves? Yeah, it's going to come into play tapped, and then we'll be able to get Razor Verge Thicket down. And then get down to Emmara. Get some of those tokens going. Let's get down Razor Verge Thicket. Now, if we want to make sure, because we want to get down Farhaven Elf. I was hoping to hold on to Enlightened Tutor for something that allowed us to kind of untap Emmara. We have a couple of different options in here that we can certainly do that with. But let's see if we don't hit the land drop, then unfortunately we'll have to go for something really quick. What we can do is if we want to make sure that we do hit the land drop, we've got some good stuff in the hand too. So what we might end up doing is just using Enlightened Tutor during our upkeep to go for Mana Crypt. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Because we hit the land drop, we hit Farhaven Elf, that's awesome. That we got a way to kind of produce some sort of tokens to stop Tajik and his soldiers from swinging across and hitting us. And that'll be a really good way for us to kind of hopefully stabilize in some form or fashion. So let's just risk it, keep our fingers crossed. We hit the land drop, we'll go for Farhaven Elf. And if we don't, and then next turn we will for sure go for Mana Crypt. That way we can get down Farhaven Elf and make sure we're hitting our land drops. Drawn to Springleaf Drum. Okay, well, kind of like hitting a land drop. We get down that, and they'll still only give us access to 2 mana. Yeah, let's go to get down Springleaf Drum, because that still allows us to get down a token. So yeah, I think I like that. So we'll just simply go and pass the turn to our opponent. If they want to swing in, we'll at least be able to get tap Emmara down for Springleaf Drum, and then get one of those soldier tokens on the battlefield. But yes, we did cover both commanders, so it's free time. We can talk about whatever we want. And this is Emmara. This is typically I don't really play a ton of green-white, and especially when I got into Ravnica, Emmara, and there's a little bit of a magic. Gather around the fire, the magic fire, everybody. Old man Jolt's going to talk to you. Whenever Emmara was originally released for Return to Ravnica, there was like some big mix-up to where it was like Voice of Resurgence was maybe going to be, it was supposed to be Emmara as a 2-drop, but then they thought it was like, I don't know. Anyway, we kept waiting, we got a Symbol of the Legion coming down. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a clock. We can tap Emmara down to get some soldiers, but the Legion, the Boros Legion, is definitely a lot stronger than what we are. See if they swing in. But long story short, with that Emmara story, like they were releasing the different legendaries for each guild, and we kept waiting and waiting, and they released Emmara. It was like a 5/7. Prevent all damage that be dealt to tokens you control, just 100% just straight out of like a intro pack. It was just like, ooh. And it was just, I remember the whole Magic community being very not thrilled with it. Rightfully so, because it just didn't really seem that powerful. But anyway, this time around, they built a really cool 2-drop Emmara, and we are really excited to play it. Now, we can go for Enlightened Tutor. Since we do have Springleaf Drum, a way to tap her, that's perfectly. Let's go and go for Enlightened Tutor, and then go for Mana Crypt. Get this popped out. Excuse me, I did not put Mana Crypt in there. I thought I did. No, I went for more of a heavy, just kind of ramp deck. Let's see what we're going to grab then. Actually, Anointed Procession. Yeah, I like that. We go for Anointed Procession. That's going to about be our only way to keep up with this Symbol of the Legion. We could go for Paradise Mantle. No, we need to double these tokens up. So let's go for Parallel Lives. I guess technically either one doesn't matter. I like Parallel Lives better. I like the Wolves. Those are pretty cool looking. All right, so we're not going to draw into lane for the turn. We will draw into Farhaven Elf. I mean, we will be able to get down Farhaven Elf to hit the land drop for the turn. And then we'll get down Parallel Lives the following turn and start to get some of these tokens going. Let's go and tap down Emmara. And let's go and go for, yeah, we just need to build up that, we know the Boros army, winter is coming. So we need to start building up our own soldier army. And yes, we're going to use that ability. And let's go ahead and grab, we do have 2 dual sources on the battlefield. We have a ton of white, so let's just go and grab a plains out of our hands. I do want to swing in for 1. Yeah, this could be about the only time we can get in for some combat damage. swinging for one, and we're not under a huge ton of pressure from our opponent at this point right now, so we're just going to try to build up our board state and outrace that Assemble the Legion. We do have a couple different ways to deal with Assemble the Legion. We do have Aura Shards, which works out beautifully with Emmara, and then I think, unfortunately I didn't take a screenshot of my deck list, but I know we've got a few other options there. We do have Reclamation Sage, just another way to kind of take care of Assemble the Legion, but Assemble the Legion is one of those cards that is just, I love it. It's one of my favorite. I'm normally not a red-white player, Boros player, but Symbol of the Legion is one of my favorite cards because it's just such a fun. If it goes unchecked and they get those soldier tokens going, it is one of the best feelings in the world when you just put like 4 tokens on the battlefield, 5 tokens on the battlefield. You can almost hear like the Boros army just marching as they get on the battlefield. So hopefully we get down parallel lives, at least be able to kind of hold them at bay. But the longer that it does go on, that's not as good for us. Long story short. Okay, opponent's going to go for, oh no, Rolling Earthquake. Deals X damage to each creature without horsemanship in each play. So if you haven't seen this deck before, this is a beautiful deck by Slow Player 1. It's kind of like a horsemanship legendary Boros deck, which is just so good. Let's get Emmara Pipe back up. So unfortunately, we cannot get any sort of 3 mana down. We can't get 4 mana down, but I guess we'll just go and go for Bramaz. We go for Bramaz, and yeah, that's all we can do. So we'll just go and pass the turn. That will keep us online for Springleaf Drum. We can tap down Bramaz and then go for Emmara to get her down, and then start to get these tokens going. But you can see what I'm talking about with the Symbol Legion. Now there's 2 of them on the battlefield, so we have to start blocking with those. The only good thing with the Bramaz is that whenever he blocks a creature, we get to create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's blocking that creature. So depending on what creature we decide to block, we'll at least get another cat token on the battlefield. But depending on how they want to assign blockers, they might end up being able to take care of that token. But as far as next turn goes, we're definitely looking at getting down Springleaf Drum because we need to get as many tokens on the battlefield as possible. Goldmane is definitely a really good card that's going to allow us to get some sort of kind of close the game out, but it's not going to do any good simply just sitting at a 4/4. Uh-oh, Bastion Protector. And then if we can get down Mirari's Wake, that might be kind of one of our only outs on this one. So if we do hit the land drop, we'll probably end up tapping out for Mirari's Wake, because that's basically going to turn these soldier tokens into not that good. And then hopefully we can outrace some of these soldier tokens. Do we hit the land? Oh, there we go. Hit Temple of Plenty. So I'm going to go for Temple of Plenty, get the Scry going. Scurry. The Fever. The okay, right. Yeah, we're doing some setting up. It's going to give us a ton of mana, but we have Mirari's Wake. Let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. You know what? Let's go ahead and get down. We need to get Emmara down. Yeah, that's the only way for us to get any sort of just board state advantage, to just get some creatures down. Let's go and tap down Bramaz. I hate to do this, but we have to. And then tap green. Let's get down Emmara. And then we'll at least be able to use that Springleaf Drum to get some tokens going. And then if we can get down Lightning Greaves, I'd like to. If our opponent doesn't really go for any spot removal at our end step, then I feel pretty safe that we don't need to get down Lightning Greaves, at least right now. There's some other stuff that we need to get. But you can see, look at that army, that Boros army going. So we need to get these going. But if we do get down parallel lines and we go for Springleaf Drum, we can still tap down Emmara. Now that we do have at least 4 mana on the battlefield, we can get down parallel lives and still tap down Emmara. And then hopefully if we get lucky, get down Mirari's Wake, that'll allow us to maybe kind of stabilize in a way. We'll see. An argument could be made for us basically just tapping out for Mirari's Wake at this point right now, just to kind of get that double mana. But that's basically going to be us completely taking a turn off. And if they have any sort of enchantment removal, they'll take care of Mirari's Wake, which would be absolutely devastating. But let's see how our opponent decides to kind of swing this one in. But oh yeah, about that Ravnica thing. So they just announced all the different cool cards from each guild from throughout the entire week, and it just got to Emmara, and it was just kind of like, and the worst thing about it was is they waited until the end of the week to announce Emmara, and everybody was like, oh, what is it going to be? What is it going to be? And then it was just like, it almost she should have been the first one. Okay, so we've got the whole crew swinging across. Do we want to block with 1? Make sure I'm not missing anything. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Other creatures. Yeah, we need to start whittling away at some of these soldier tokens. So Emmara's going to hit her with her Falstaff, knock it on the head. It's going to put us down to 12. Yeah, we need to get down parallel lives for next turn, unless there's some sort of spot removal from our opponent. Let's see. Relentless. Oh no, nice. Okay, so that's gonna be the soldiers coming across. That's gonna be, we can't block again. It's gonna be 1, 2, 5. That's gonna be 8, 9, 10. They get the mentor trigger going. That might be 12. Let's see. Because that's gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be 4, 7, 9, 10, 11. It's gonna put us down to 1, which we're gonna have to take it because if we're gonna get anything going, we need Emmara. And I think we might have 1 fog in the deck, so we need to draw into that and get a few more tokens going. But yeah, this ain't looking so hot. If you're keeping score at home, you can officially check mark the this is not looking good. Check that box mark. Check that box off. So we draw into plains. So let's go and get down plains. Yeah, let's get down parallel lives. I mean, I guess we can kind of bluff something, but we're gonna have those soldier tokens coming down, so I really doubt our opponent's gonna think that we're doing something funny. And the Brahmas does have vigilance, so at least we get a cat token with vigilance is tapped and attacking. So that's gonna give us a few extra blockers. But without a Symbol of the Legion, I think that's gonna do us in. Okay, let's go and swing it with the Brahmas. We're going to get another cat token on the battlefield with vigilance. It's going to be 2 more tokens. Look how nice that worked out with parallel lives, which is beautiful. We'll be able to get at least a few more blockers on the battlefield. And then anything else? No. We do have indestructible with shields, but we're simply just going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But I think they should get it on this one because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 blockers. We can basically generate 5 more creatures. We only have 5 creatures to block, and especially once we do tap down with Springleaf Drum, there's really not much we can do on this one. We will be able to at least kind of negate some of the damage from the soldier tokens, but with the Symbol of the Legion, with us not finding an answer for Symbol of the Legion, they're going to get it. And that's one of the fun things about a Symbol of the Legion, and I'm going to post this video up because you can see where it is 5 mana. It takes a long time to get going, but if they just don't have any... Uh-oh. Boros Charm. What a Boros way to close it out. We've got soldiers sitting right there, but they're just going to punch us in the face. So, good game to slow player 1. Definitely enjoyed this game. But yeah, I'll finish what I was talking about with the Symbol of the Legion. You can see where it is 5 mana. It takes a lot of turns to get going, but if it's left unchecked, it can completely take over the game. And especially with us getting down Emmara, Brahmas, we have parallel lives. We can basically make as many tokens as we want, about 4 tokens a turn, attacking and blocking. But the fact that opponent got down the Symbol of the Legion, put enough pressure on us, and then a Boros punch us in the face, I will take that. That's a really clean win. But I'm going to post this up because this pretty much shows you what you want to be doing with Emmara, especially using stuff like Springleaf Drum. You can use Springleaf Drum to tap down Emmara, get parallel lives on the battlefield, really start amplifying those soldier tokens, and then you can use something like a Goldmane to kind of close the game out. But Post's going to get it on this one, and then good game to solo player 1. Always enjoy our games. In fact, if you enjoyed the video, you should like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap that bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.